Good evening, y'all. This evening's topic is going to be about AI influencing YouTube and something called code switching, having to do with accents. AI. I watch YouTube a lot, and I discovered disturbing stuff. They have a column called Shorts. And there was a short where some man found a mountain lion caught in a fence and wounded, and he treated it, and it looked very grateful. My radar blipped. There's something wrong. It's too cute, too perfect, too, and then lo and behold, every other short recommended to me was of wild critters being treated by people for injuries over and over and over. Then the next mistake I made was clicking on a watch this Karen get her comeuppance. There was a still, just a photo for the whole 7 or 8 minutes, in a droning certain tone of voice that I could tell was AI told the story. Granted, it told the story better than some human storytellers, but for all I know, a 15-year-old kid could have created it, and no human interaction whatsoever. And I read the other day that this is becoming a tidal wave of influence on YouTube's recommendations. And some of these Reddit Quora advices was to check the not recommended, try to get them off your front page, because soon all the stuff is going to be faked. And if a real UFO were to land, who would believe it? All these fakers are just slowly unwinding civilization. My only solution myself is to watch real human beings doing real stuff. Like, look up Out of the Woods, or The Real McCoy, or there's others, I can't remember the titles. Real people just walking around the sidewalks, videoing, or driving, or doing stuff, just buying a hamburger inside a convenience store. A real person describing something, usually a he, is doing. And I shudder for the future. AI is going to take the place of most white-collar people, and a dissertation or thesis could be written and no one would know. Anyway, so my solution in my videos that I watch anyway is to I enjoy the videos with different kinds of accents. I know they're real because AI doesn't do accents. Any accent other than standard American. And so I have a whole list checked in my folders of favorites that I watch. And yes, sawmill videos, sawmill operators, and I watched a few from the Northlands forest country like Wisconsin or New York, and their presentation sort of irks me very slightly because they seem to be sort of like pricking my arm with a with a meat tenderizer kind of presentation. Now, as I've already spent 5 minutes here on this, code switching. That's a linguistic term for someone who has basically two accents. Their original accent and a standard American accent that they would use like for a job interview to fit in so that at least they can get by the front desk personnel interviewer. And myself, I was born and raised with a accent. Anyway, the location was the Finger Lakes of upstate New York. But there was something wrong with my voice. Mom told me I didn't talk at all until I nearly was 3. And then I listened to myself on a tape recorder when I was 10 or 12 or so, and I didn't like what I heard. I dragged every word out. I finally, years later, realized that it's like a table with a paint job on it, or a clay soil sitting on bedrock. And underneath the accent born with was another accent, somehow there. And after my COVID there in rehab, in various experiences with COVID and after effects, the paint was stripped off the table. And now the other accent comes through. Now, I'm not going to code switch back and forth, although there's probably a mixture of at least 2 accents. But my relatives I call in upstate New York are flabbergasted. Anyway, so that's what code switching is. And that's about it. It was 7 minutes, and I don't know if I really said anything. Just watch those AIs when you watch the YouTube, because once you start watching one, they'll recommend more. Why, the science fiction AI writers, since I love science fiction, only Starbound claims to have real people telling stories, but even they use AI-generated images, and it's disconcerting to see a photo of a group of aliens and then another photo 3 minutes later of the same aliens, and they all look different. But they claim storytelling, not AI, but all the others, they tell the same story over and over and over. I must have 10 or 15 recommended sites. And if you all want a really good comedy Southern script, it's a Southern thing. And look up Matt Ranks, M-A-T-T, and he ranks different foods from ice cream to tacos to whatever from Alabama. He's hilarious. So there is my observations of the date and time of end of February. So have a good evening, you all. Goodbye.